I can say is that the fake news just doesn't get it, do they? You want to hear something totally reasonable that could get you in big trouble in Washington, D.C.? Listen to Senator Joe Manchin.
I cannot accept our economy or basically our society moving towards an entitlement mentality, that you're entitled, okay? I'm more of a rewarding, because I can help those who really need help if those who can help themselves do so.
Okay, so he's not down with Build Back Better. What did the liberal mob do to him? What are they doing to him? Manchin is in that car. Look at that. Imagine if you were in that car. This is scary stuff.
This is Joe Manchin's car slowly pressing into our peaceful
Violence from the left always seems to be okay. Always for a righteous cause, huh? How about the harassment of Kyrsten Sinema, senator from Arizona? Look at this. Remember when they followed her into the bathroom? Did you know she was at a wedding? Her mere presence at someone else's wedding set them off big time. It ruined the bride's day.
It's just my wedding.
I know. I'm beautiful. You
Well,
are.
I really wish I could enjoy my wedding without you ruining it.
I know you do.
It ruined the mother of the bride's wedding day.
This person is not my daughter. My daughter's getting married.
Will you tell her that?
Did you invite Senator Sinema really here?
No, listen.
Tell her that we don't like what she's doing to our country.
These maniacs may hurt somebody. I don't want anybody to get hurt. Republican, Democrat, no matter who you are, this is a real problem. And Joe Biden is laughing it off. Joe Biden, the most protected man in the world, okay? Joe Biden, when he goes from point A to point B, he gets how many cars? 80, 90? You ever see one of these presidential motorcades? It's over the top. And he's still joking about, you know, this kind of heat that's coming down on lawmakers. It's not funny.
I don't think they're appropriate tactics, but it happens to everybody. From the only people it doesn't happen to are people who have Secret Service standing around them. It's part of the process.
It shouldn't be part of the process, and we have safeguards against, if this is part of the process, give them some Secret Service agents, give them some marshals. They need this. Remember what happened to Gabby Gifford? Shot in the head by a lunatic. All right. The fake news, they really don't like the new superstar lieutenant governor from Virginia.
I'm here because you put your trust in me. That's the only reason I'm here. I'm telling you that what you are looking at is the American dream. When I joined the Marine Corps, I was still a Jamaican, but this country had done so much for me. I was willing to die for this country. USA!
Totally beautiful, right? I mean, that's awesome. But what you are seeing, according to the very fake news, is a tool of white supremacy. I'm not kidding. They actually said it.
Any black conservative is supposedly, or the black president having ever been elected, right? The fact that he was elected, period, means there's no racism. The two choices that voters had in Virginia were a black woman who shares my daughter's name and Jamaican heritage, and and an Afro-Latina who's part Lebanese. So you had the choice of two brown/black people, and you picked one of them. Do you get credit?
The problem is here, they want white supremacy by ventriloquist effect. There is a black mouth moving, but a white idea through the running on the runway of the tongue of a figure who justifies and legitimates the white supremacist practices. We know that we can internalize in our own minds, in our own subconscious, in our own bodies, the very principles that are undoing us. So to have a black face speaking in behalf of a white supremacist legacy is nothing new.
I think he should be free to say anything he wants, anything at all. But that from both of them. That's hate speech. Now this.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
So I knew Joe Biden. We all know he's a chronic liar. He's very bad at it. He's not as slick as he thinks. But on Inauguration Day, he was so solemn, made such a display out of telling us how honest and straightforward he would be with us. Do you remember this?
My fellow Americans, I close the day where I began, with the sacred oath. Before God and all of you, I give you my word. I will always level with you.
I will always level with you. All right. Joe, obviously you haven't been doing that. Always level with you. Wall Street Journal, last week, pretty major story. The Biden administration is in talks to offer immigrant families that were separated during the Trump administration around $450,000 a person in compensation. That's quite a story. He was asked about it yesterday. What did he say?
As you were leaving for your overseas trip, there were reports that were surfacing that your administration is planning to pay illegal immigrants who are separated from their families at the border up to $450,000 each, possibly $1 million per family. Do you think that that might incentivize more people to come over illegally?
If you guys keep sending that garbage out, yeah, but it's not true.
So this is a garbage report?
Yeah.
Garbage report. A garbage report. Wow. Wall Street Journal. Garbage. Garbage. Even CNN had to say, it's not garbage.
Was the Wall Street Journal report that Peter Doocy was asking about, is it garbage or not?
Jake, this is one of these cases where the president is quite imprecise and leaves it to his staff and us to be the precise ones. So here are the true facts. The Wall Street Journal was correct not reporting garbage when it reported that the Biden administration is in discussions to settle lawsuits brought on behalf of families affected by the family separation policy. And the Wall Street Journal was correct in reporting that these settlement discussions include talks of possible financial compensation.
Wow, huh? Wow. I mean, what did he say one more time on January 20th, huh?
My fellow Americans, I close the day where I began, with the sacred oath. Before God and all of you, I give you my word. I will always level with you.
A sacred oath. Before God and all of you, I will always level with you. He's not a good president, and he's not a good man. And he's been wrong on so much, even when he's, well, whatever. You remember what happened in Afghanistan. Horrible, horrible moment. Joe, believe it or not, in a weird way, saw this coming. When he ran for president in 2007, 2008, remember, he ran. He wanted to beat Barack Obama. He wanted to be president back then. In typical Joe style, getting right up in somebody's face, this is what he said about Afghanistan.
It makes a big difference how we end this war. And it makes a big difference to tell the American people the truth about what our options are in ending this war. I'm President of the United States. I issue an order. End the war today. Begin to withdraw all American troops. It will take a year to get the American troops out. Do you hear me now? That's the truth. It will take a year to get them physically out. Now, if you leave all the equipment behind, you might be able to do it in 7 months. And you leave those billions of dollars of weapons behind, I promise they're going to be used against your grandchild and mine someday.
Why did he leave the weapons behind? Why? This is not new to those of us who've been watching Joe Biden for a long time. A chronic liar. When he first ran for president back in 1987, 88, had to drop out when he found out all of this was a lie.
What law school did you attend, and where did you place in that class? And the other question is, could you quickly, I think I
probably have a much higher IQ than you do, I suspect. I went to law school on a full academic scholarship, the only one in my class to have a full academic scholarship. In the first year in law school, I decided I didn't want to be in law school and ended up in the bottom 2/3 of my class, and then decided I wanted to stay, went back to law school, and in fact ended up in the top half of my class. I won the International Moot Court competition. I was the outstanding student in the political science department at the end of my year. I graduated with 3 degrees from undergraduate school and 165 credits, only need 123 credits, and I'd be delighted to sit down and compare my IQ to yours if you'd like, Frank.
So today, when Joe Biden lies, they say he's being imprecise. But back in the late 1980s, they weren't afraid, and they didn't hold back.
Biden now concedes he did not graduate in the top half of his law school class, that he does not have 3 degrees from college, and that he was not named outstanding political science student in college.
Newsweek says Biden actually went to school on a half scholarship, ended up near the bottom of his class, and won only 1 degree, not 3.
Joe Biden ranked 76th in a class of 85 at the University of Syracuse Law School. I mean, this guy comes off this whole thing as a flyweight.
Now Biden says Newsweek is right. His memory had failed him.
And now he's president.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.